one of the things, the distinctions we should actually probably make before we go any further is between business to consumer or B2C and business to business products or B2B, which is, of course, what your book is about. But for people who aren't familiar with the terminology, I guess if you could maybe, because I think most people are familiar with, when they think about a startup, a web startup or something like that, or a tech startup, they're thinking about business to consumer, not business to business. So I was wondering if you could talk a little bit, but just at a high level, like what the differences are between those two types of companies.
I'd say that's a very good setup for this, because that's kind of the reality that the startup universe was like back then a little bit, where I think the setup or the way people perceive startups was very much tied to consumers product. So like mobile apps that target consumers, because there's way more consumers on the market, and oftentimes business products or business technology was associated with this idea of like the old software or the old enterprise solutions, these products that were very stiff or very old school a little bit. So a lot of the entrepreneurs were kind of going after more consumer opportunities, in part because they wanted to solve their own needs, maybe, or because they were also interested in things that they knew, or that basically the investors were also driving that messaging, because back then it was there were more bigger successes in B2C, specifically with consumer software like Facebook, for example, and all these products that were kind of coming up, and we're just basically raising the bar and raising the ambitions of every entrepreneur looking at the space.